Welcome to Overeaters Anonymous podcast number 2. This podcast will focus on individual stories of recovery. Throughout this podcast, we will be referring to Overeaters Anonymous by its acronym, OA. Joining us is Overeaters Anonymous member AJ. Hi, well, welcome to the program, AJ.
Well, thank you.
Tell us, how long have you been a member of OA?
Just a little over 6 months now.
Tell us about your first meeting that you went to.
Well, my first meeting, I was very, very anxious. I had just gotten to a weight of obesity. And what brought me to the meeting was that my family has, on both sides, problems with obesity. And so I started getting real anxious. When I went to the meeting, I was welcomed. It was really, really lovely. I didn't know what to do. It was just at a meeting hall in a church. And somebody read a story from what I now know as Lifeline. It was a little leaflet. It was amazing. It was like, how did they know? Did they know me? And the thing is, when you get there and you hear a story that's you realize I'm not alone. And maybe there's more to this than just the eating. Maybe there's something going on here. They handed me a welcome packet. It was wonderful, with some flyers in it and a little token. It looks like a quarter, and it says 1 day at a time on it. There are certain tools in the program. In order to go through the program, you need to basically have a guide or sponsor. And so all these people were new to me. I didn't know who they were. Everyone encourages people to come back and gave phone numbers out. So if I had questions, which I had lots of, I could call someone, and I did. So that was the first meeting.
After your first meeting, what was your initial impression of OA?
My initial impression was I saw some people there that looked healthy. I saw some people that looked really skinny. And I saw some people that were much more overweight than I was. And I thought, how could all these people be in OA and doing the same program? I was a little confused, but I thought this may be a way for me other than all of the dieting things that have happened in the past. I basically underate until a family situation came up, and then I gave it all up and said, I'm going to eat everything in sight, and I did, And so in any event, my feeling about the people there is they were boldly honest, and I didn't understand how they could be that honest because I had never had a group of people I could be that boldly honest to, that open with, and that frank with from the very start. Usually you have to develop a trust level. But there's something called anonymity in this program, and so they trust each other. And I was like, whoa, these people are really saying a lot, and they're fessing up to being bulimic or overeating or whatever it is. And so it encouraged me to come back and to get a sponsor. And that was a trip and a half itself. When you ask someone to be a sponsor, they may not be available. And of course you go, oh, yeah, okay, fine, you're not available. And then you go home and cry like your mother rejected you. But it's not the truth.
Tell us a little bit about some of the other programs without mentioning names, why they weren't successful for you.
It was based on quick weight loss, getting that fix, and then hopefully the person will stay on it. What I see in this program and what gives me such great hope is people have been in the program for 20 and 30 years, and they've maintained their weight loss and their health. And it's wonderful to see that, So that's really a really big difference there.
Can you describe for us one of the typical OA meetings that you go to?
Yeah, sure. A typical meeting is there's one of your peers leading the meeting and mostly reading this page or script. It's not the person's personal idea. So anyone who is willing to serve can actually lead. There's a leader, and basically everyone follows the leader. It's kind of simple. It's very straightforward. Certain things are read in the beginning. Newcomers are welcomed. So there's some basic rigmarole things that go on. And then there's a reading. Sometimes we're reading from Alcoholic Anonymous books, sometimes from Overeater Anonymous books, and sometimes from Lifeline. And then there's sharing. And then there's sharing on topic as well as sharing off topic. If someone is very, very in need of sharing, we do that at the end. And there's a beginning prayer and an ending prayer that is very generic, that doesn't talk about religious perspectives. And what I love about each meeting is I can take away one or two gems from what people have shared. And there's a sense of relief for being there, a sense of encouragement, and a sense of belonging, and a sense that you're not alone in this disease. And it takes a while to wrap your brain around that this might be a disease, because you need to eat to live.
Speaking about abstinence from food, I mean, it's different from Alcoholics Anonymous or Narcotics Anonymous, where abstinence would be not drinking anymore, but you have to eat. So how does that work?
Yeah, how it works is there are 7 tools. One of the tools in the program is a food plan. And food plans are designated oftentimes by people's doctors or dietitians or some professional that you agree with or can trust. The food plan designates exactly what you eat or types of food you eat, like that. Everybody is basically on a different food plan, though there may be similarities, and there may be similarities as far as allergies to certain foods. And it's really also a disease of perception. It's definitely a disease of not being able to see. Some people are very thin and think that they're fat, and some people are very fat and think that they're thin. And some people think a cup is a pound of food, and some people think a cup is a third of a cup. You don't know. And so what a lot of us do is weigh and measure our food according to our food plan.
How has OA changed your life?
Right now I'm not obese. What it has done for me is find a fellowship of individuals that have a similar basis in problem, and you don't have to feel like you're extraterrestrial, walking around like, oh, I need to eat greens, and I need to eat this, and I need to do that, and everyone else is eating something else, So everyone understands, who's been there for a while, that it's a disease, and there's a camaraderie in acceptance. People come there and sometimes express a slip they've had, which is when you go off your food plan. There can be total honesty there. So people don't judge each other, or if they do, at least they're not pointing the finger at you. But if you go there and you say, hey, I've had a slip or something like this, everyone's like encouraging to start again. And that's important also, to know that you can make a mistake and not be banished from a group. There's no banishing or anything. And, it's a disease of isolation also. And so it's very, very important to be part of a group. Anyway, so that's what it's done for me. And it's also helped me recognize that I don't have to have all the answers. I don't have to be totally reliant on myself to figure this all out. People have done it before me, and I can kind of walk in their pathway. And a sense of humor is back. Yay. It's helpful to have a sense of humor when you're dealing with this stuff, because heavy-duty stuff comes up. When you clear out, when you start becoming abstinent, it's a form of detoxing. Memories will come up and certain processes will come up, and that is a part of the 12 steps also. You go through certain things. So in any event, if people think it's an easy path, or I'll just go there and it'll be easy. A lot of people are there from other programs, and they say that OA was a more, extreme program, only because it's food. Because you have to, as you were saying, with alcohol or narcotics, that's not your nutrition. So that's what it's done for me. I'm sure it's done a lot more for me, but those are a few things.
If you had somebody that came to you and seemed like they might be interested in OA, what would be one thing that you would tell them?
I would tell them that it's not a quick fix, that it's a lifestyle, and that it requires effort, and it also requires work. But when you do the work, you will get results that will last for a lifetime. And I would encourage them. I would say, come to a few meetings, see which one works for you or not, because you can't tell people to come. It's a program of what we call affinity or attraction, a program of shared hearts and shared hopes in recovery.
Great. Well, thank you, AJ, for talking to us today and for coming in. Is there anything else you'd like to add?
Just that this is really a tremendous opportunity for anyone, including for myself. That what I say is my experience it's not necessarily everyone's experience, and it's a junior experience. It's not a mature experience. It's only 6 months so far. And thank you.
No, thanks for sharing. And thank you for joining us for this podcast. For more information on Overeaters Anonymous, please go to www.oa.org or call 505-891-2664.